Welcome to the Emerging Lawyer series at the Coffee Conversation Show powered by the Emerging India Forum TIF and a tech partner Prime Infotech Solution. Theme is Laws, Leadership and Fintech. We have with us Nitin Bhuwania, General Counsel at Smart Pedal Technology. With over 15 years of experience across the fintech and BFS sectors, Nitin brings together the sharpness of a chartered accountant, the depth of a legal expert, and the foresight of a strategic leader. From heading complex acquisitions like DHFL's takeover under IBC to shaping the legal ecosystem at Easebuzz, his journey is packed with milestones, insights, and a relentless passion for driving digital transformation within the financial world. Join us as we decode his story, both in and out of the boardroom, his personal journey, what Nitin is as a person. So, welcome, Nitin, to today's coffee conversation.
Thank you very much, Amir. And thanks for giving a very brief and great introduction about myself.
Yeah. So let me explain you the flow and the format, Nitin. There are three rounds: professional journey round, personal journey round, and a surprise that is you will be in the hot seat, the rapid fire round, for which you have to be witty, funny, and quick. And here's your gift, which will be autograph legal EI 101.
Wow, very much. Looking forward for the gift also.
Yeah. Okay. The friends, I'm Lion Amir Mirani, host at Coffee Conversation and legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution. Au- Author of 15 books, we help law firms, corporate legal, startup SMEs with world-class technology and software licensing and tech training solutions. So my first question, Nitin, how has the journey shaped up and any key defining moments you had?
Okay. So Amir, like journey has been absolutely great, fabulous. No doubt about it. Every journey has some hard work to flow. Every journey has some hiccups, ups and down, which is part of it. And being resilient while you are down and then coming up with all more challenging is something which brings you and makes you a individual. So, I mean, like law was one of the choice which I chose. It was not something which came in as a chance. And if you see my qualification, I'm also chartered accountant. So something very unique and very different. And a lot of people ask me, and I'm sure you will also have this question to ask me in future sometime down. But just telling that this was one of the choices which I chose in the industry. I'm a first generation lawyer in my family. People used to question me, like, you're choosing a profile, a profession, which you might not have any background with, any experience. But somewhere in the deep down, I always felt a inclination towards law, a strategy, and that kept me something roaring and something burning to jump in this profession. It was very tough in the beginning to actually crack the basic law firm. I really had a nightmares moving around, talking to people, applying XYZ. I had a very tough start too. I just say that, though I was having a qualification, good law college, good degree and everything, but I had a very tough start. But something then, if you, I just believe in the saying, if you keep on trying and keep on going, some things will definitely click. And actually, after working with few initial law firms, very basic law firms, what clicked me in was a corporate journey with National Stock Exchange, and that gave me continuous, momentum to look into the future of law, to look how do I need to evolve myself, what I need to actually do. And I kept on realizing one point, Amir, is like keep doing, keep trying, and no, don't sit for anything less. So you will find my profile very interesting, very different from others. And I know it's a different journey which I've traveled. Maybe people brandish in a different way, but I have my own reasons and my own desires and my own aspirations to do that.
Nay, uh, I've seen in my coffee conversation journey, especially tax lawyers who are both apna CAs and have done apna ye law degree also. So dual qualification, like so you are not a surprise. So like apna Priyanka Jain is so many. They have
Yeah,
done
there are.
become a
Yeah, Priyanka is
CA.
one of the. I know
Prasid
Priyanka.
Bhatia.
Yeah.
So he's into real estate. Yeah. So it's very, what do you say, yeah, good thing. Okay, people like you are going for upskilling. There have been many lawyers who have gone for LLM, PhD, like apna Deboshi. Then I can take names apna Dharmendra Chatur, who's gone for solicitor at apna London. Then Arush Khanna or
Mhm,
FCIRB. So it's good
mhm,
to see. Okay,
mhm,
adding ये certifications, अपना upskilling with their knowledge and everything. So let's
mhm.
dive deep in the conversation. So Nitin, what's the
Yeah.
process when negotiating high stakes legal agreements, especially cross-border ones?
Okay. The process is to follow the process, I would rather say. And when it comes to high stake legal agreement, be very integrate to what you're doing. So integrated to every document which is going through your table, through your mailbox. Read through it. And the very fundamental aspect in any document, any agreement is take yourself living in the agreement. I personally do that, especially when it's like, even if it's a cross border or not a cross border, I start living the document and I start interacting, I start playing some aspects, what is mentioned in the document. I start taking it like, oh, this is happening, this may going to happen with the company. If you honestly believe, Amir, if you look at documents, in legal document per se, lot of things are written which is like in the future, which may happen, may not happen. You try to mitigate those risks. Actually, to live those risks, sometime, in present. And, I always keep telling, for a lawyer, it is more important to be a storyteller and have a vision in future and start visualizing things. You visualize, and especially when it comes to cross-border documents, you have different cultural people, different people come from different jurisdiction. So it becomes very critical for me as a lawyer to look into that aspect and pay a lot of attention related to cross border agreements. Something that we look at that.
Wow, beautiful. Okay, so Nitin, data privacy and cyber laws are hot topics today. So how do you approach these challenges proactively in the fintech sector?
So, Amir, I'll just give you some background. Fintech was a choice again by me, and again, the sector was quite booming up. I have to take a very, very different decision with me, moving away from Bombay. I've been in Bombay, did my plus two, did my college, everything, and moving away from Bombay. And everyone questioned
Right.
me, you are moving out from Bombay and going to a tier two city. I was like, okay, I'm getting an opportunity. It's a tier two city, and more than the opportunity, what was driving me was the excitement for to do learn new take challenging stuffs. So when you talk to me about the new things about data privacy, fintech, innovation is something which drives me, and something which is challenging, something new is which pulls me up. So Easebuzz was one of the pulling factor. It brought me to a tier two city in the country, away from Mumbai. And initial days was quite very different when I actually started looking up the professionalism in Mumbai and tier two cities. I don't disagree with whatever people out here, but then there's a way and culture of living. And but I found a fintech company, and I wanted to really learn the integrities, what is happening in this background. Initially, it took me couple of months to understand the fintech, but since I was from a similar industry of a banking and financial services, I was able to cope it up. I was able to take it up and understand. Data privacy was a new something which was already talked about in terms of GDPR when you look at the cross-border agreements, cross-border jurisdiction. But sir, this was something new to the country. We all were aware what was happening into what was happening into the data privacy background and how it is going to move around. The data privacy innovation or new laws, what we talk about, especially into the fintech sector, it is very critical for lawyers to understand, to add value to it, and I think these are the future of law. These are the areas which are going to define the where the legal fraternity is moving forward.
Wow. So Nitin, having worked at the intersection of tech and law, how do you see the role of GCs, General Counsel, evolving in startups and digital first companies?
Okay. Uh, uh, GCs are today no more. I say they are, and not only general counsel, they are governance counsel. And when you talk about startup, so I moved away from Easebuzz very recently, and I joined a different company, which is again a very heavy startup. And the startup world is, about innovation. And when you talk about innovation, disruption, not following the rules, not following the processes, and for a lawyer and for a GC, it's a very, very difficult area to deal, because actually the entire breed or entire thought process in the startup community we are here to disrupt. And in the process of disruption, is what not following the status quo or strata, what is agreed in the society, just questioning everything. And in that process of questioning, a lot of things happen, maybe right, maybe wrong, we may answer in the hindsight, but there are success stories which has come from startup. There are stories which actually shows serious concerns in terms of governance, following the rules. So for a GC in a startup, it is very, very important role to play and very critical role to play. Unlike any other organization, I feel the term GC actually live up to in a startup, because it's an environment where you deal with anything, everything, and it's a general. Like you may call yourself a specialized lawyer in investment domain, a specialized lawyer in data privacy domain. But when you are in a startup, you cannot say yourself as something specialist of something and not knowing something else. So you need to answer everything what comes on the table, being termed as legal. Maybe you may give me given a marketing template to look at it. So we are coming out with a new product. Have a review it. Give me what laws can interact, what can happen. You cannot say that this is a marketing template. I have no area. And having said that, maybe I don't say that GCs are supposed to be expert in everything, but they're more about general counsel. They need to have their idea. They need to know who is the right set of law firm to reach out, who is the right set of lawyers to talk about, and start living toward problem solving. So problem solving becomes a very, very important because it's still skill set. And I truly feel, Amir, startup is one area which actually defines the real lawyer in everyone. You work there in such a unorganized, messy situation.
Wow. So I'm planning to thank you for giving me an idea of doing a panel discussion with a GCs from the startup world. So
Mm.
you are there, Jaswinder Singh Shekhawat is there, and many others. So it will be
Yeah.
good thing. As you said, Kibai, we have to be generalist.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not
Yeah.
only about being generalist. See, startup may you will have engineers, you'll have very young crowd working with you, and they may really don't know anything about the law, and they
Yeah.
rely a
Yeah.
lot on you. And it's not about in startup, if you it's not about just blessing something or saying yes or signing off something. It becomes more important. Like there is no process, and if you don't interfere and enter into the transaction and start questioning few things, people will do it. The business will take place and shoot around. So that becomes very, very, very difficult situation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And one of my coffee speakers, Apna Vanika Sharma, she described herself as a journalist in a law firm. That was very
Mm.
beautiful thinking. There have been lawyers who are
Uh,
doing
uh,
their niche areas,
yeah.
but learning from her कि by, why she became a journalist. Watch the episode. She has short
Uh,
insights कि why she chose to be a journalist.
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. And it's not only being journalist in startup. In startup, it's more important being very active about what is happening on the ground, trying to keep the nerves away. And especially now today's startups are working hybrid, remote, because it's very
yeah,
difficult to know. You really don't listen to some water cooler talks, and trying to just get on review meetings, pick those leads and actually highlight it. And the saddest part, Amir, is what? Startups all begin with not having a lawyer or not having a control function, not having a very serious finance function. So, it becomes very, very, this is one of the really saddest thing which I feel when you look at all the startups where things have gone wrong or maybe what has gone right. They really did not had lawyers in the beginning, and they always considered this as a cost center. And the reality of everything is not having a royal lawyer or not having the control function at the right time has actually made all of them paid a huge chunk of money in the future.
beautiful. Okay. So, Nitin, how do you ensure your organization stays ahead of changing compliance and regulatory frameworks, especially in India's evolving fintech ecosystem?
So, Amir, I'll answer this question from what I had done in Easebuzz because this is a new organization, very new organization I've recently joined, and there are different problems every organization has.
Yeah.
And your question is more about futuristic, but if you talk about fintech startup, the first thing and most important thing it becomes to stabilize what is going around, to stabilize, to bring processes, bring cultures, bring SOPs around what is happening. Actually, the real biggest problem, and I faced it when I joined the startup fintech community. They rely on some law firms, they rely on retailers, they rely on secondment contracts with other professionals in the market. Maybe the cost is a reason, or maybe not giving a thought serious to it, just to take out that reliance and bring it in-house and build in-house capabilities. It becomes very important. So just to answer you and coming back to your point, whatever the new things and innovations happening are very important, but the very basic thing starts is like first you stabilize where you are because things are not process oriented in the startups. It need to develop and it evolve, and then you have different products coming in picture. Once this is achieved, I feel keeping your ears open, getting into conversations with people in my community, going for seminars, taking those clues from there, understanding which is the right tool to be utilized, and then figuring out the right tool and putting that tool in place actually brings what is the future which is required, those data privacy and whatever we are talking about.
Wow. So, Nitin, AI is now everywhere, and my book also, which we'll be getting. How is AI impacting the fintech ecosystem, especially related to contract drafting and other works for your legal work areas?
So Amir, I'll give you very interesting answers, and I'll share you my experiences. All of a sudden, I've started seeing few resources drafting very good contracts, very crazy clauses. They have started drafting. A few of the resources who are working with me, my teammates. All of a sudden, you'll find them mails being very smooth, very crisp, very up to the mark, uh, writing what exactly wanted to be written, or playing a lot with the words. Earlier, they used to find two-liner mails. So AI has actually brought given it has actually acted as a tool in the hands of a lot of people who maybe knew the concept but were not able to put on a paper, were not able to deliberate rightly. So actually AI and the conceptual understanding, business understanding, both of them have started showing results in the especially in the fintech industry where people did not had much of the experience. They were hardworking. They wanted to write something very good. They wanted to actually present the facts in the right manner. So AI is helping them very much on that, to that one aspect. Second aspect, if you talk about the fintech technology, AI is part of it. We are actually supposed to be torchbearer of AI in the industry. You'll not find AI being adopted by large MNCs, yeah, maybe because the change itself take a lot of time. The beauty about fintech startup is all about AI and everything becomes very, very, very fast. It gets adopted very fast in the system. We are the people who actually act as the torch bearer and push to the people, start telling people to accept it. So what I'm going to bring out in the technology sector, AI becomes the product, and it's very important to use your own product before selling it out. So it's very, very important to, to use your own product, test it out yourself before talking about it or selling out in the market or asking people to use it.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, let's go memory down the lane. You played a key role in DHFL acquisition under IBC. Could you walk us through what that experience taught you about leadership under pressure and your key learnings?
Okay, that's one of the marquee deals which was done by me, and I keep talking about it. And great to you also put this query, and I really became very, very known personality, and I'm thankful to my seniors out there in Piramal Capital, Mr. Honish, Mr. Anand Vardhan, who actually helped me to and paid confidence on me and put me on that stage that you actually can drive the transaction. So this was one of the transaction I can say which was of very large, more than 1 lakh crores of rupees, worth of the transaction, wherein the first time a financial service company went under the insolvency, under the IBC route in the country. And since the law was quite new for the financial service company, IBC itself was a hot cake in the market, and nobody has seen a financial company going through this process. So, we lawyers, for us, it became a ground, a very ground which is open. You can actually dig around, play around, talk it around, and the courts may give you a verdict around this. When you talk about leadership, I really saw in this transaction what is the way a lawyer who is a leader and who actually wants the deal to have certain shape and certain size, how they think through. There are a few integrating movements, and I just recall them. I started seeing very senior partners, and I was working very closely with very senior counsels in this transaction, and the transaction was almost a 2 years transaction, which took me to go through. They start thinking, and they think in a manner wherein they started questioning, in the sense, if this is not written anywhere, we can get it written. So, see, as a lawyer, it's like whatever is written, we need to interpret and convey to people. There, the thought process was, it's okay, it's not written. If this is right, and this is what we become logical and ethical, and this is what is required, we'll get it written. We will ask the courts to give order, we'll put representation. That the transaction, this what brought me to the conclusion, think out of the box. Don't get into it. Sometimes we become so much indulged into what we are doing, what we're talking. We actually try to leave the third perspective. And that started, this transition gave me that thought process. You need to put pause on sometime on something and then start thinking outside and question what you are doing. Maybe is a solution which can be straight away answer to what you're trying to do and achieve in 10 days or 30 days, is what this transition brought me as a leader. So when I started taking up leadership positions after this transition, this few of the experiences and moment which was there, especially with this transition, always kept me thinking, okay, this is a problem statement. I know the answer is this way, but let's think about Y and Z. Then that is what I feel the transition brought to me and gave me as my experience and leadership.
Beautiful. So, Nitin, who has been your mentor or has influenced you from the corporate legal world, especially from the fintech industry?
Okay, fintech industry. Okay, I feel I have been very. I'll broadly answer this question in a different angle, Amir, and then I'll may straight away come to the point also with your questioning. But I broadly feel I am blessed with working with few of the managers and few of my mentors throughout my journey, and especially I give lot of my development, my growth, my own knowledge, which is there to my managers whom I worked with and whom actually to my supervisors whom I work with. It all started my journey from National Stock Exchange. Thereafter, I moved to Axis Bank. Mr. Mani Prasad, TV Mani Prasad was there. He was one of the best brains in the bank whom I was working with, and people started telling me, if Mani sir says something, it is the final thing in the law out here, and you need to learn closely. So he became one of the founding members for me, and then I moved around from there. I went to L&T Financial Services. There I met again super brains, super legal luminous brain, super seniors like Mr. Raju Dhote and SK Honish in Piramal, Anand Vardhan again in Piramal Capital. So especially when I came down to fintech industry, in this industry I actually went in those shoes where SK Honish, Anand Vardhan and all of them there, and I kept on calling my colleagues, my seniors, and all of them. Yeah, I would not rather say one of them. Wherever I face certain challenges, certain issues, a career issue or a certain transactional issue, I straight away, I dropped a message to my own seniors, my managers, and asked them, I'm stuck in this point. What is your suggestion? And sometimes very, very good points came in. Like you break this into these three part and just think it from this part. Also, few of the law firm partners whom we work very closely with. So not to put a very clear name on someone, but I feel I have been speaking to everyone but especially when it comes to fintech and fintech profile. Mr. Anu Tiwari from Cyril Amarchand Mangalchar has been also one of my mentor. I used to keep calling him anytime just pick up the phone, drop a message to him, and pick up the phone and talk to him. Like, I'm stuck in something. How can we just get that out? So maybe it's a law firm who's helping the professional from the other side. But as I say, all of these people are part of my journey, and I keep interacting with them.
Beautiful. So your common question, which people address you, being both a CA and a lawyer, how do these dual qualifications help you navigate corporate strategy and compliance more effectively?
Okay. The my CA qualification gives me a lot of financial understanding about the transaction. It gives me understanding around the business, what is the business view, and how the finance are going to play a lot of it. My legal, when I'm in the shoes of legal, I also try to look the problem or the document from the financial number perspective. This is one of the qualities, or I'd say my USP, which I bring on whichever organization I've been part of. Typically, if you look at corporates, they consider legal as, take their sign off, and if there is a problem, go reach out to them, try to search them a solution from the legal forte. I always give them, and being a chartered accountant, a solution which will actually come out in numbers. A lawyer may say, there may be a challenge in this transaction. We may get law. We may there will be a dispute, and we really don't know how dispute will belong. I have the same answer there, but I just add something. This dispute would cost you 10,000 USD or 5,000 USD. Or it will cost you 3 years. So that aspect, being a CA has actually developed, and more so ever, the institute which I'm part of and a member and also have a membership of them, they also bring a lot of very good corporate governance update. Those are the corporate governance update related to corporate law. This both the qualification actually helped me to grow very fast in corporate. And being with startups where the corporate governance is an issue, I think my qualification actually helped me out to bring some corporate governance practices, some some groundwork which I need to do, the SOPs which I need to set up. The only thing what I can especially answer, if in fintech, such qualification, dual qualification really help you, because it's not only again the one perspective of legal what you bring to the table, it also the perspective of numbers, the business, and added qualification really help you because these qualification gives you the third perspective, which is very much required.
Yeah, beautiful. Yes. So, Nitin, your journey as a speaker and thought leader, how did it start and how has it been?
So, Amir, I started getting invitations from a few of these forums, and I actually never thought myself being there speaking out. But I just recall my initial days at a very young age. I started getting some invitation, and I always took permissions and internal compliances from my organization, and I said them I want to speak, and I got invited. And then the first question my managers which are, you have been invited as a speaker. Well, that's right, I've been invited as a speaker. And you're like, it's very wonderful. And I always got, and my managers always supported me. Go out and speak it out, whatever you want to talk. So,
Yes.
and thought leader. So when I started speaking with a few forum, they actually started asking me, your session was great. And I used to ask them for a feedback after a couple of days. And they used to share us the photograph and all that. I used to ask them feedback. Like, did I make sense what I was talking? And how was the feedback? I used to receive a lot of feedback. But then I started finding Amit, like they actually all of these forums started reaching out to me, and they said, no sir, your sessions are super very great. So it's like I really did not know about this part of my skills what I had, and these organizations, these platforms which gave me this the platform to stand and about my experiences, my understanding about few aspects, and then the feedback which I started receiving from them gave me more what or I can say that gave me a perspective and idea of started speaking, and then I started getting invitation from a lot of places. I started being getting awards, so it became a part of the journey, honestly speaking. And the only thing which I keep in mind when I go to such session, talk what
Mm.
has happened with me, talk my experience, and be true and very fair. Don't build anything, don't create anything, and also avoid controversies. Speak what you feel is right. And in few of the sessions, especially through data privacy and all of that, I have seen my own fellow professionals coming forward to me. And you gave a very third perspective to thing, and people are just talking over the surface, but actually you talked, it hit a point which was very different. So that again gave me boost, encouragement to keep striving and keep talking about it. But having said that, before you speak, you need to do a lot of hard work. I need to study the material very well. I need to prepare for it. And I really don't want to stand anywhere without prepared, is what the philosophy I've always followed.
Yeah, beautiful. So, okay, my last question will be, what message would you like to give to young legal professionals entering the corporate legal world, especially for the fintech industry?
Okay. So fintech industry, I would only say to young professionals, very fortunate you are. You're being part of this industry. This is the future of everything to the young professionals. And I can say, in our years, when we started our journey, we have to look out for different profiles, different jobs, change companies. And the reason was we wanted to do different things. But fintech industry itself gives you everything, different things in the company. So especially when you're working for startup, I always keep telling the fresher who work with me, like you're very, very fortunate. Yeah, I've seen people spending years and years and decade doing a one particular set of work or particular kind of profile. The fintech industry is so innovating, so changing, and so challenging that it keeps giving you different types of work. And if you're someone as a person who like to take challenges, learn new things, derive new ideas, want to be ahead in the curve in terms of technology, uh, to young professional, I would only say this is the place you are there. Stick to it. Continue doing that because I keep telling them you will not find a better learning ground than anything what you can learn in fintech industry. I whatever experience I have, I can only say that this ground gives you a veracity of experiences, veracity of challenges, situations you're put through, decisions you need to take on a daily basis, where no other company or profile or industry would have given you such challenges on a daily basis.
Wow. I want to add one question before I go to your personal journey round. How has the leadership style evolved over the years?
Okay. Uh, so, if you talk about leadership style, I always believed in grooming the talent who are working with me. So, I people used to say like we'll have experienced people, even experiences people. What I have realized, the most important thing people really want is listening what they want to put in and putting a thought process and discussing. So it has to be not a dictatorship kind of a leadership. It has to be collaborative in approach. And as a leader, and especially in legal profile, you need to understand people those who are working on the transaction. You need to talk to them. So mentoring becomes very important. Learning becomes very important. You cannot be someone who can only talk on the surface. Sometimes you have to actually get started living their problem when as a leader. And when you start living their problem as a leader, they start feeling connected to you, and they feel like, okay, my manager is there, he's also living the same way, and I have certain answer, even he may have the answer, similar answer, or he may have very different answer, and then collaborating coming out. So leadership style about myself is more about collaborative, mentorship, learning, and not at the same time not macromanage anything.
Wow, beautiful. So let's go to the next round and understand Nitin as a person. Tell us about your family and your formative years.
So again, I'm from a very small town from Bhagalpur, Bihar, and if you talk about my family, a very basic business family, of also at the farming at the same level father was, and my elder brother is there. He is a qualified engineer. So one thing my family always believed upon is education. They always wanted the education to be have the most important priority, and that actually made us push toward education. I was a very mediocre, very basic, not very high scorer student, but something in above average kind of a student. Never used to get ranks or something of that sort. And but I always believed and always have something that trying to learn things, being very curious. Curiosity was something a part of me. And in my family, my mother, my father used to say, "You're very curious about what is happening around, being updated about what's going around in the world." You may not find me very, very active in a lot of forums, but I'm very passively trying to absorb things and then actively coming out when I have clear understanding about stuff. So my initial formative years was a very basic above average child who goes to the school, learn things, and come back and again assimilate what he wants to do. But what was most important thing, which always kept me driving in terms of the family and childhood, was being curious about whatever is happening around.
Yeah. So let's go to your college, KC Law College. What are your memories and experiences?
So I'll just also add my college at Jain College also, because I did my graduation from there, and then KC Law College I did my law. Um, KC Law College is a professional college which is more into law as a profession, where the people out there are doing something very serious. And when you have graduation college, it's all about evolving as a personality. Uh, the colleges which I both the colleges, and if I just compare what as a professional journey and what they gave in me was a huge network of people, uh, building up the soft skills, interacting with people, giving me platforms to talk. There was moot courts which used to happen in colleges. I used to like to go for moot courts, argue before my own fellow colleagues, and we used to always have intra colleges moot court. So, being part of the KC Law College, learning law there gave me a very clear understanding about on the legal fraternity, professionals, how do they interact. And the best part was that whoever was teaching us also were very professionals. They were lawyers in the law college. So, and you have a group of people, you exchange ideas. Something very good was that there was a good attendance we had in the college. I used to go attend lectures, meeting up with teachers. So if I just have memories of it, I can say these were the years of formative years, which was more focused on developing the soft skills. Because I believe academic was something, being part of the college was something you'll get as academic with right teachers. But soft skills was something which both the colleges have given me and helped me out.
That's beautiful. So, what's one hobby or activity that has absolutely nothing to do with work but brings you joy?
So honestly speaking, I like reading a lot, and uh, and if you ask me, do I read novels and books? I may say no. I read what is going on in the world, being updated, and maybe you people connect is something to do with my profession. I really don't know. This is something which gives me a lot of enjoyment. That is one of the hobby. And second, which is very important hobby, I like to network with people. I like to talk, interact. And I believe, there are multiple ways of learning. Either you read things, you assimilate it, and then you have your own thought process, or you just define it, or you talk to people. When you talk to people, you understand what is their thought process, what experiences, and that is a different kind of learning when you actually start interacting with people. And I am someone which people take me as in my hobby is like we interact with people, network with them, connect with them, understand what's going on. And in the organization also, I do the same. Though as a leader, you get slightly secluded when you get into that zone and you start interacting with your own zone of people. But I always believe keep interacting with anyone, whom you find, be it the last man in the company, being the one who's working on the field, being someone who's very, very senior. So if you talk me, it's a very different hobby. Reading is one of them, but again, networking and interacting with people is one of my hobbies.
Wow. So, Nitin, how do you maintain a work life balance in such a high pressure role
So,
leading a startup?
so the clear answer is be with your role, live it up, and keep driving yourself and your team. Uh, you know, it's very easy to say no to anything, especially when you are working in startups and fintech. But it's more important to rather not say no and explain them why you are saying no, and ask them, talk about reasons and search solutions. Uh, People keep telling that searching a solution is the right answer, but sometimes you may say no, it's not the problem. But explaining them, bringing up to your table why you're saying no, and that's something which keeps me. And when you talk about work life balance, it's really difficult in startup industry. I can only say because this is very innovative for a profile like legal, compliance, finance. It's really difficult place to be. But then more than difficult, I would say it's challenging, and challenges bring me happiness. So everyone has to choose their own journey. I have chosen this because again, challenges leads to me more happiness. But one thing what I always believed in, Amir, and I always keep suggesting everyone, be very ethical and true and very clear what you're doing. And if you just be that, and then you will not be scared of anything. You will go with a very open-mindedness, sleep aram se, because a lot of things happen in startup. Maybe you'll find in this world, you'll find frauds, find issues, challenges, but you be very clear and ethical about what you're doing. You will not have that stress of being part of something which you really don't want it to be.
Yes. Wow. Okay. So suppose, Nitin, you had 1 week away from work, away from the gadgets. What would you like to do and why?
Vacation is the best thing. What I would like to do if I'm away from the work, sitting out, relaxing, and again thinking what I want to do in my life, what is the future, and if it's difficult to keep me away from gadgets, to be honest. But I have realized and learned over a period that the time to put a cut break is very important. And especially someone like me, it becomes very difficult. People say me, you need to take leave, you need to take break. And over a period and from experiences, I've realized that is important. And just to answer you, if I'm cut off my work, cut off my gadgets, I just want to think about my family, and also want to think about how the journey has been and what lies in future. That is the time actually which gives you time to introspect. Otherwise, you really don't get time to introspect. You keep doing things on a daily basis, especially when you're working in such high work pressure environment. You don't need to actually be motivated to work. The work will keep you motivated and follow you, keep following with you. So it is very important to cut off yourself, think about it, and introspect what you're doing, what do you want to do. And there may be times you may take up steps or decisions which you may find right or wrong, not at that stage, but in future. But you need to take that step. If I always believe this being decisive, taking decisions and bringing change in your life will something bring you into more risk, more rewards in that environment.
Wow. So, Nitin, how do your friends describe you outside of your professional avatar?
Okay. Friends talk to me, being very knowledgeable guy, very interactive, uh, very collaborative, and someone who likes to be part of discussion topics. And sometimes a lot of these discussion topics are not away from my profession and my professional understanding and knowledge, but they really get shocked to know that you're so well read about this part also. So friends actually, when they start interacting with me over a period, they start really, and but that's something which I always believe. I develop very good bonds with people, and
Wow.
that bonding with people is something I feel people coming forward, helping me out, and I reaching out to them when there is challenge. And that bonds with people, I believe a lot of people keep telling me, and this is what I hear from people. They say, no, there's some connect we develop, some emotional connect or some connects, and that happens when you actually true talking to them, being transparent about what's going on with you, but on the other side is very important.
Wow. So, what's one thing people assume about lawyers that you'd love to debunk?
So people assume about lawyer is they're someone who will create problem, but I would rather say there's someone who are not creating problem. There's someone who are actually visualizing you, highlighting the problem, and helping you to solve the problem. So lawyers should be considered as a problem solver. Then someone when you reach out, you'll be in a more problem.
Wow, beautiful. Okay. So, my last one is a quickly one. Describe Nitin in one line.
Curious, interactive is something which I would say, not even one line, two words. I would say someone who's very curious, very interactive, uh, want to learn new things, and again, I believe knowledge and hard work is something which has actually helped you break every ice in the world.
Wow. So, let's go to the next round and have some fun. The rapid fire. Now you're in the hot seat, Nitin. Uh, CA or law? Which is tougher?
Law,
Your go to comfort food?
Dal rice.
Your dream travel place.
Seychelles.
Favorite color.
Blue.
Best piece of advice received.
Hard work, patience need to have.
One thing on your bucket list you haven't ticked off yet.
So interesting question. So there are a lot of things there, but one thing if I say, I want to travel a lot. So I do travel, but there's more I need to travel.
Wow. Uh, Drafting or negotiating.
Negotiating.
The last one. Tea or coffee to recharge.
Coffee.
You're on the coffee show. So let's race. And here's your book, as promised. It will be autographed and sent to
Wow.
you.
Legal AI 101 Amir. So that's
Um,
great. Understanding, adopting AI in your practice. So AI is the everything. I keep telling everyone, and I think that people are hearing this. Is the lawyers who don't use AI will get replaced, not the AI will replace anyone. So
Very true.
it's the Nitin without AI will get replaced, or Nitin without with an AI will definitely get replaced with a Nitin without an AI.
So, friends, it was a lovely conversation with Nitin. Uh, how having dual qualification has helped him, and all those legal professionals out there who want to be part of the startup, the fintech world, and yeah, help in the growth, scale up. So, watch this episode. Nitin has transitioned from the banking and finance, and now being part of various fintech companies. And yes, it is challenging and exciting where the action is and where you're contributing, because you learn a lot. Because startup founders need more things from the legal compliance and many things and marketing, so many things. So you are enriching your journey, not being part of one role. So this is what a coffee speaker brings to the table. And yes, we wish Kin Nitin travels a lot during this 2025 and in the coming years, and he contributes to his travel journey. So if you want to be featured like Nitin, visit our website, the Emerging India Forum or landing page, or connect with the 450 speakers and put in a word to invite you to be a guest speaker on the Coffee Conversation show. And friends, we are celebrating Mother's Day. We are having a panel discussion on topic is managing family and career. There are four what do you say, beautiful coffee mother speakers will be coming and sharing how they're managing family and career. And we are having a panel discussion also for the fathers. So we can't leave them also. So everywhere it's Mother's Day, Women's Day, but we should have Men's Day also, because male and female energy, as you say, apna ye Shiv Shakti has to be balanced. So look forward to this conversation. So we meet with another coffee speaker, continue the conversation. So thank you for coming on the Coffee Conversation show.